know because his birthday isn't online, but apparently he's 27. Like one of the easily one of the oldest players coming out of the Southeast Asian region. But add on to top of that, right? He approached TNC not to be a player, not to be their coach,
just to help
but to be their analyst.
Yeah.
And then they were like, this guy's good. Let's make him our coach. And then from there, they're like, let's make him our captain. Let's have him play on our team. And I think he's doing fantastic work. It's just another one of those stories,
there's
right?
There's still hope for you, Cap.
Absolutely. That's why I'm so fired up right now, because maybe I can go back, baby. But no, it's like it reminded me of the Seth story. You know?
Absolutely.
You know,
That's why I'm so fired up right now,
because
because
smart
maybe
guy
I can go
about
back,
Dota,
baby.
but can't really
But no,
click the buttons and goes into the game and shows that he can actually bring his team to victories.
Let's turn our attention to Vici. I've said they're the best team of the year. This half of the season, if you like, if we're talking 18, 19, since January, they've been the best team.
There's like a lot of things to talk about with Vici, right? I think you could hear the roar from the crowd when Yang gets announced, of course. Like you look around, people are wearing Yang hats and everything too. He's super popular. Talked to a lot of the pro players, and some of them are saying this guy might be the best player in the world at the moment, stuff like that. I also want to focus. I also do like to focus on supports, but DY is actually my most improved player of the entire year across any team.
Back the season.
He was. I mean, we used to.
It was
not like
horrible.
Like me and Trent would be watching, and he would die. All the games.
Let's just be absolutely plainly honest about it, because I think we can be. He was horrible at the start of the season.
His 5 position went from pretty much being like one of the worst, if not the worst, to being like top 2 of 5 positions right now in the international. So he is definitely one of the most improved players for me.
What about Ori's improvement as well, right? Like you have 2 players on that team that have just done tremendous things over the last year. For Ori, I would say it's more like a year and a half, 2 years. But that's like just a really impressive story, and it goes to show that maybe some of the mentality that Ori and Paparazzi have as kind of the core elements of the team, they bring something different, right? This is a team that I see yelling at each other nonstop, but they've never, for this season, they've stayed true to what their roster is, and they've had great performances. So maybe something about that works.
Dedi Paparazzi, he's been around for a long time now. He's such a great 1v1 player.
He's amazing.
Huge player in China, obviously very popular here as well.
He can play mid, he can play carry.
Right.
He's a perfect teammate.
Yeah. And now he's got great teammates around him, though. Finally. He's in a team where he's not maybe... Like Yang's taken a lot of popularity right here in China. And Ori obviously very big out here. So now he's surrounded by great players.
You should give credit to everyone, because when I watch Vichy games, I'm amazed every time. There's always a lot to learn about them. We move as a unit, we work as a unit, we do things together in perfect fashion. It's just an amazing team.
And they're less boring than they were. I want to be honest about this. They were my favourite team 12 months ago. They were a bit... I use the word methodical.
Paul doesn't like when people control the map.
No, it's not that at all. It's just, it's like, move in. Let's go in, guys. Oh, we've got a tower, back off. Oh, we've got one rack's back off. We've got the other rack's back off. Get a shrine. Like, come on, finish the game. And they were a bit... They were too methodical, right? But they seem to have... They've taken the best bits of that, added some aggression, added some fire, and now they're a great team to watch.
Wouldn't you want to be like that too if you made a mistake and you go back to the room and you're like, oh God, ROTK, what's he gonna do to me? Oh no! So come on, you got to understand their discipline.
That's true. Yeah, if you got ROTK back there, I don't want to mess up at all.
Yeah, and to think about it, right? Maybe that's exactly because you now have players as opposed to last year where you just had Paparazzi and Ori. Now you've got like somebody like Yang who is just as willing to yell back, right? And I think that kind of aggression that he has in his personality can translate through to the game.
What's that like, Dendi, playing in a team? Because I always imagine you're a passionate man, you're emotional, but have you had teammates that yell at you and you just feel like, shut up?
It depends. Always different teams, but maybe if I would play with Rodike, or Rodike would be my coach, he would probably give me yelling lessons.
Yes.
And when I would yell at people all the time.
And then we'd have angry Dendi.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't imagine that.
I can't imagine. No, that's not possible.
It's very good when you're angry at enemies. Of course, it's...
But what about in team, though? How do you cope with someone's really loud in a team?
I think...
Is it okay?
You can be loud, but then you should still stay friendly and friends, and no one should take it personal or anything like that. Then it's okay. Yeah.
Has that happened to you, though? Have you been in a team where someone's really loud and you just want them to not be loud anymore?
Well, we can go loud. Of course, it happened many times, but when we would be happy loud,
Okay.
Scream something not so good, but in a happy way.
Okay.
I remember watching TI1. I remember watching Navi. and just yelling at their opponents. That was actually such that was like the first big like psychological play. In like,
it was
big
so much fun. We had like mirror right in front of us, and enemy right in
That's
front
what
of
I was
us.
thinking.
You guys got the kill, and you guys would all stand up, and then you would
Different
sit down real
strategies.
quick.
We would hit table, we would shake everything up.
Did you banging the table because it vibrated in the other room? Right?
If we do a kill, we would hit table.
Denny and the boys were the first OG. They were the first chat wheelers.
Yeah.
Before it existed.
Yeah, before chat was even had. What do you spam now? What do you spam?
What do you
Yeah,
spam now?
yeah.
Резать.
I learned what it means now.
Cut, or slash.
Oh,
It's when Sven coming up with big gun, ultimated.
He taught me that one the other day.
Today.
Yeah, we were spamming a couple of times. He's like, do you know what that means? And I'm like, oh, well, now I do.
Perfect.
It's a good one.
You learn something every day, as well as life. You learn in Dota as well. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. Which way do you think this goes?
VG Gaming.
Yeah,
I have no problem jumping into the spot. I think TNC is going to be a strong lower bracket team. I have them going a bit farther through that lower bracket, but VG Gaming, for here, I think they're just too big of a beast. Again, the biggest problem for me is the fact that TNC, like some of the breaks that I saw, some of the mistakes that they made in the group stage, I'm concerned that's going to continue in the playoffs when things are just, there's even more pressure on them.
That's the problem, then, isn't it? Inconsistency for TNC, because they were a bit up and down in the group stage. And when they look good, they look amazing.
In group
right?
stage, we actually took at least one game from every team except Mineski, which probably know them really well.
SEA.
Yeah.
SEA derbies, they always end up weird. Like.
But for me, I don't know. Those are really, really close games. I expected it to be like 50-50, but the edge would be on Vichy side just because we're crowd favorites, and obviously a lot of cheering will be.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this room. Obviously, all Vichy biased, I'm sure.
I'd have to also...
I'm going to ask you slightly different to you, Fog. What did TNC have to do in this series in order to overcome Vichy?
I think the one thing is that if they have like a certain strategy hasn't really been revealed too much for themselves, that's probably one of the best ones, because I think the TNC is going to do a lot of homework. They have Heen. He's going to come back and he's going to be like, all right, let's bring out the book. Let's see what Vichy's done throughout the whole year at each thing. So I think you have to bring something new to the table, because I do think that TNC some of the times they have been a little bit. It's weird calling TNC a little bit predictable, but with their drafts, you can understand what they're looking for and what they're trying to do. So I feel like they have to bring something extra to the table, at least in that essence, versus Heen.
Okay.
And when it comes to play inside the game, I think a lot of that is going to come around the Tims, which is where some of the slower elements that Denny was talking about, right? These 4 positions that they bring out, like the Earthshaker and Enigma, these like really big team fighters that can beat them, that can beat Vichy Gaming in the late game. Like, he's going to have to come through clutch, because I think there's going to be a large chance of Vichy Gaming take control at first 20.
Okay, so that's what they've got. Dendi, agree, disagree?
Yeah, I kind of would like to see
chance?
Team Smirana. Yeah.
Tim's Mirana, yeah.
Okay.
Tim Shaker, Tim Spirit.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 that I'm looking for.
I was going to actually talk about Mirana. There's quite a bit of support Mirana now.
Yeah,
Last game?
this hero
Yeah.
actually have really high win rate at this tournament. Yeah, it's doing really well. It's randomly came here after last small meta patch, and here it is. We see a lot of Mirana, and it's very successful.
Yeah.
I think it's like the 4th most picked with like 60% win rate or something.
Yeah.
It's like crazy that any hero that could be that popular also hold that kind of win rate.
It's flexible, right? I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen is like when you open it, it's like
a core,
you can still run it mid. You can still run it even like I don't think I saw a carry one, but we saw mid and we saw 4 position at least picked up.
Yeah,
So.
and I think Moon is whenever you see Moon playing, you're thinking, oh well, Mirana might come out in this particular game because he's so good on it. So yeah, it can be a bit of a flex pick, I guess. Vichy, on the other hand, what have they got to be careful about in this game? What would they not do for TNC?
I think the biggest thing is making sure that they win their lanes against TNC. Making sure, for example, that if they sacrifice Cuckoo, really shut down Cuckoo's game. Right? Especially if they give him like the Cuckoo Bat Rider that he's so good with. Like, make sure he doesn't actually have the game. Punish the fact that they're sacrificing a little bit and trying to secure their safe lane more. I've seen TNC do that a couple times, and somehow Cuckoo walks away. Like, he's half the time he's solo, but he still walks away like he's been dual laning the entire time. He walks away with that kind of farm. So make sure he doesn't have a good game.
Cuckoo's the one he's definitely the one I'm concerned about that I think Vici's going to address. Before when I was saying, I messed up saying it before, I was saying that Heen was going to do homework, none of you guys corrected me, I was waiting for you guys to make fun of me, but I meant auto TK. It's okay.
It's fine, we've got your back.
I caught myself after I said it all, but yeah, I think that's the one that I'm worried about, is that Cuckoo, I think I've only really been seeing him play, like, his Sand King and his Batrider. Yeah. So, he needs to find some more variety.
Couple more in there. Dendy, what do they have to be careful of?
I don't know. I think Vichy should just play their own game and
not worry about TNC at all?
Not worry about anything but their own game. Just focus on what we want to do and keep going.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much, gents. That's it from our panel, but we need to bring in some experts. So let's head over to our expert panel for the draft.
VG Gaming versus TNC Predator. Game 1.
I thought we were bringing in some experts, but Gunner, I hear you got stomped in an in-house. What's going on here, man?
You know, Fog, he tried his best and he ruined my game. Nothing you can do. I was also against a TI winner, Dendy.
True.
I'm not a TI winner.
But you two are playing in the same region now. Grant, this man exported himself out of North America. Did you disavow him?
I did not. Gun Daddy here. He's still cool. He's repping us over there, and I appreciate that. Especially, TNC on the line. We'll get the inside scoop now.
Yeah. You got the
a spy.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Indeed.
Okay. Deep cover Gunner. I like it. We're here. It's the second series now of the main event.
Already.
Quick. And it was a fast first game as well. Virtus Pro just looked completely lost, and what a way for LGD to solidify the Chinese crowd behind them, getting a rapier. Now it's up to Vici Gaming to see if they can follow up a performance like that.
Yeah, and I think it should be a pretty good series. I'm surprised the panel actually took Vici Gaming right there, but pretty convincingly. I thought TNC actually looked reasonably well in the group stage, and they talked about it on the panel, as in the draft, that it's these heroes, these team fighters, they have the longest games in some of the tournaments, and that's because these Earthshakers and Enigmas they're picking, they don't mind scaling into the late game with heroes like that, and I think we'll see a lot here.
Yeah, a lot of the team focuses around Tim's, I think, in the early game to mid game. He picks these, like they said, Earthshaker and Earth Spirit.
Yeah.
He's always gets these Blink Daggers and these big initiations, so I'm looking for TNC to draft some big hero for him.
Yeah, and I like the Chen Ban. AU, he has been he's one of the few people keep challenging him. They're like, you know what? Let's give him the Chen, and then all of a sudden you gave him a Chen, maybe you give him an Alchemist, and you're like, oh, what have we done? So
yeah, it spirals out of control quickly whenever you give these teams their comfort heroes, and also when you give teams heroes that have just been very irritating. Enchantress has been one of the most hated heroes in pubs. Yes. How do you kill this hero? But I guess maybe it's magic damage, Gunner?
Yeah, so Enchantress is really not good because she has a lot of healing in the early game with her Nature's Attendance.
Correct.
So when you pick an AA, you stop her healing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of heroes like Juggernaut or Lightsteer with built-in magic immunity are really good at piercing through or untouchable. So maybe they pick something like Juggernaut here if they want to pick their carry early. That hero's kind of weaker, I think. Gyro's another hero that's good against her. His Rocket Barrage goes through untouchable in the early game.
Sand King, kind of the same thing. It's all magic damage. You stun in, you Sandstorm, you cast an ultimate, you gotta just blow her up right there. And I like two of the bans on the side of TNC. I was gonna bring them up. It's Ogre as well as the Tide Hunter, and those heroes just Vici Gaming, they will always take it. They're one of the few who's only really running it in the 3 position, and just get rid of it. That hero is such a nuisance.
Yeah, we saw the Tide Hunter bring LGD great success in Game 1. Purely it's a regional favorite, but we're seeing a lot of different stuff coming out. Magnus being picked up now by Vici Gaming.
A lot of the Chinese teams like Magnus more than the other regions. I think LGD picks it a lot for
right.
FY. They play a little slower than the other regions, I think, but they get the slowness helps them with the power. Their carry always is going to be top of the network. It gives them team fights in the mid and the late game, so I like it. It also lets them contest TNC. If Tim's goes a more greedy hero like Earthshaker as a 4, the Magnus is also going to get a blink, and his carry is going to get farm. So
I'm curious, because don't they usually play Yang on the mag? They're one of the few teams who really likes playing it on the 3. And you have an Enchant, I'll be honest, I love both these heroes as a 3 way more than say Enchant as a 5 or the mag as a 4, but I'm curious, because Enchant, she's a lane stopper. You know what she's going to do. Meanwhile, Magnus is a little bit different. Maybe you get a skewer on the tower, but you're just trying to survive. So if they do play it as a 4, here you go. You're the buff bot.
Trying to survive, and then just trying to get levels. So what is going to be the pairing for this Magnus? You want to find someone to empower. You want to make sure you enable your carry to accelerate very quickly, which is why Vici Gaming ban out the Alchemist. They want to make sure that no other carry can keep the pace of a hero that has Empower.
Yeah.
A nice thing about this Magnus pick and the Enchantress is that Enchantress can solo her lane really early on.
Okay.
And a lot of teams like to run Magnus in a tri-lane.
Assuming that it's
10
gonna be
Assuming
seconds
that it's
remaining.
3 Enchantresses and a
Okay.
4 Magnus.
Which I hope it is.
Yeah, the Magnus can get early boots. He can skewer into
5
tower with another stun
seconds
from the 5.
Mm-hmm.
So a tri-lane with Magnus is a lot stronger than doing dual lanes, I think. So it's kind of a really nice combo that they already have.
Yeah. You're already scared though, right? You have an enchant and a mag, and then you look on the other side. You just have this AOE burst damage. Like just in 2 heroes is AA. So
TNC
you definitely need someone
Predators turn to
survivable
battle.
again. I mean, how do you feel about Jug this tournament?
Jug's been a really weak hero. They've nerfed,
Yeah.
I think, really small. The past couple, like 3-4 patches, they removed his early game agility. They removed 5 movement speed, I think. They removed
Yes.
10 or 15 damage from each level of blade mail per second.
How are you going to talk bad about one of Hector's favorite carries? It's Wraith King and Juggernaut all day, every day, and he's
Dude,
been
it is.
cleaning up on those 2
10
heroes.
seconds
And
remaining.
I feel you do need, honestly, a hero like that, like Jug, obviously, with the spin, the magic immunity,
5
and then
seconds
Wraith King,
remaining.
right? You commit onto him, at least you have a full nother life. It's so hard to take a hero like that down, and maybe they will on Vici look to do a hero like that.
They actually ban out their own Sven, which was a potential for Vici Gaming. Again, you're looking for combinations with this Magnus and Power to speed up and accelerate the farm of a carry.
I could see a hero like Troll Warlord right now.
Okay.
For the side of Vici Gaming, it matches well with the Magnus, and as well, you don't die in ult to the AA blast.
Right. If
So-
you're in Battle Trance, you won't shatter.
Yeah, so it's a little like Shallow Grave. It gives you an extra, little
A
room.
little bit of time.
Yeah.
You never know. Just survive, get a kill. I mean, we saw Ortiz rampage with just 1 extra second. Like, honestly, something like that against an AA is that important.
TNC Predators
I'm
turn
really surprised
to
they
pick.
ban out those 2 heroes. It says to me is,
Vici
you brought up
Gaming's
Tsunami.
turn.
Alec and Sven both are 2 of those heroes that do speed the game up quicker, and obviously they don't want that. You want this mag, empower, and do your own thing. Oh, a Tiny.
Tiny's been one of TNC Predator's favorite heroes of the group stage, and overall just a really solid hero that we've seen any team pick. It's just I see an immense amount of magic burst damage. I would be terrified if I'm this
10
Enchantress right
seconds
now.
remaining.
The Tiny Axe is really good against Ench in the mid game as well. You don't get attack speed slowed, a
5
lot of
seconds
physical.
remaining.
Ench does have low armor, but you can't hit her normally. But having the ability to do physical damage without having to hit her is really good, I think.
So if this was like a
TNC
team
Predators
secret draft
turn
inside of TNC, I would have no idea which hero was playing well. We could see like mid AA, we could see 3-position Sand King. Based on TNC, which way are you leaning towards the AA Sand King and Tiny being played?
I think AA 5, Tiny 4, Sand King 3.
Okay.
They don't play mid Tiny, do they?
I don't believe they do. I mean, it's like Maneski, right? Moon's like the biggest one, but I don't
Right.
think TNC really plays
10
that much.
I know
Seconds
OG plays
remaining.
it. Thompson
Yeah.
played mid Tiny, I think,
did,
once
he
or
did.
twice in the group
Do
stage.
you know what they played it against? Sorry,
5
I'm trying to
seconds
think like if
remaining.
it's just like a matchup kind of thing, or
I think Thompson likes it here. I believe he's like gold rank too, so
Oh,
he plays it. I
He's,
think
he's like, just give me it. I just want to burst. I want to set that record. I want to get a lot of kills. Yeah. And I was curious, what do you think about that DP last ban? Why do you ban a DP against a team who has
VG
mag? Like, does that say anything about what you're going to pick for middle?
It could kind of push the Tiny more towards mid, because since he has really high health, the DP can siphon him in the mid game and kind of control him. But I think it's more for the lifestealer.
Okay.
DP matches really well against lifestealer all stages of the game. Late game at 25, you'll get a haste talent, so lifestealer can never catch you. But even before that, as spirits go through rage, you can kind of kite the lifestealer, make
10
a fight a little
seconds
slower,
remaining.
get through rage, silence him, and kind of burst him.
And even beyond pushing Tiny
5
towards or out of
seconds
mid,
remaining.
you also need push on towers. Death Prophet would have been a great hero, but Vici Gaming kind of lacking in the ability to take structures right now because TNC Predator have amazing wave clear. How are you going to ever make your way to a tower and actually start dealing damage to it?
And even just like the group up factor, right? Like if you look, cool, they have a mag, reverse polarity's fun, but then you have a Witch Doctor and Enchant. It's not like, yo, we're ready to just go and team fight you.
But they'll be able to heal, right? Oh,
They will.
wait.
Oh,
there's the Ancient Apparition on the other side. What are you going to do?
Why did they take that Witch
TNC
Doctor? I'm
Predators
thinking
turn.
now. Obviously, they enjoy the hero, a nice multi-stun. If they do like a tri-lane, Witch Doctor level 1 is pretty good. True. And there it is, the Jug. Okay. I think you had to do it versus the A, and you have the Empower, and you're going to be able to ramp up extremely quick.
Yeah, they banned I think Sven could have been a good pick if they didn't ban it.
Yeah.
It matches fairly well against the lifestealer, and that's one of the few heroes right now that wants to go BKB
10
early and is
seconds
melee.
remaining.
A lot of the ones are like Gyrocopter goes BKB early this patch, but they need a melee hero
5
for this
seconds
Empower. So I like the Jug.
Just a hero that's going to have to be very, very careful about how he uses that spell immunity. Both carries have that sort of option.
That's what Tiny does, right? Tiny just makes
Yeah.
you, it really does. Once he gets that Blink Dagger, it just makes you think, like, is he behind me? Where is he at? You always have to know where he is on the map.
I got a question, Gunnar. Why do you think that the Shadowblade Tiny build died out so heavily? Is it because this Aghanims has kind of taken precedence, or just Blink Dagger's too good? Because Tiny's a hero that's been competitive for an extremely long time, so many builds, and right now we're seeing like a very, very pop-in, do a bunch of damage, very flashy Tinys.
Shadowblade in general has gotten a lot less popular. A lot of teams are playing a lot more fast, a lot more together. And the Shadowblade playstyle is like the Slark's Shadowblade playstyle, where you Shadowblade in, you find this Crystal Maiden, kill a Crystal Maiden, and then walk away as well.
The assassins.
Yeah, so a lot of Dota, there's no more assassins. The assassins are more in a team fight. You jump the backline. You don't find a solo hero anymore. That's kind of a lot of teams have improved, I think, over the past couple years. So I think Shadowblade kind of, as well, people are playing more detection, more dusts, even gems for no invis to just D-ward.
That's true.
So
yeah, I was just surprised that whenever Sentry Wards got limited, I thought that, oh, maybe this makes invis heroes a little bit better, but it doesn't seem to be the case. And especially since TNC have a Lifestealer on their team, you want to make as many Blink vehicles as possible, be it either the Sand King or the Tiny.
They banned Kunkka, that gives them, it's more team fight. I think they're banning a lot of team fight right now.
I mean, they need it. Like, they need somebody to group up. Someone who can, like, rotate now. None of these heroes rotate. Enchantress wants to sit in the lane. Mag wants to empower the Jug. Witch Doctor, I mean, it's a Witch Doctor. Like, you're going to be lucky to get boots at 5 minutes kind of thing. They need someone who can move around the map, and Kunkka's the best one from the mid line.
I really like the last 3 bans from TNC. The Kunkka, Death Prophet, Ember, all of them match really well with the Magnus, and then it gives them this really good team fight. All 3 of them. So I think TNC has really nice bans against Vici.
I'm just baffled at the Vici picks. They've picked 3 heroes who really like to heal.
Yeah.
Juggernaut with the healing ward, Witch Doctor, and Enchantress, and now they're going to wrap it up with what is most likely a mid Lina for Vici Gaming.
I like it. I mean, you should be able to dominate lane. Obviously, TNC has the last pick. We'll see what they want to take, but you have someone who can move around. You have someone who can actually burst down. Maybe the lifesteal, you hit a stun from Fog, you get the Laguna off. You do have the ability to now kill that lifestealer, which is nice.
I could see them
tanky.
Yeah, I could see TNC picking a 4 here, putting Tiny mid.
Okay.
It matches up well against the Lina. You have a lot of HP, so her nukes don't do a high percentage of your health, and you can kill her the whole mid game. Once you get your blink, she dies. She doesn't get HP that much. I think they could pick Rubik. I think could be a decent hero, and maybe Earthshaker. Both of them are on ban. Tim's really likes those type of playmakers in the mid and late game.
Is there a way Alina just destroys like a Tiny in the laning phase? Like you get the stun, you get a couple of the creeps, and you just out harass them, or no? Eventually Tiny will just catch up.
Yeah, because I would assume that Lina having such high range and Tiny having to go back to get a tree every like 5 seconds would make it pretty Lina favored. But
a lot of the time you get boots really early on Tiny, even some mid start boots as a mid laner, which is kind of unheard of for other heroes. They get into range, they just toss combo. The Lina will lose like 60% of health. A combo for Tiny from the Lina, they'll lose like 15, 20, 30, maybe max, and you can just salve up.
That's
It's more like the mid game, I think. A lot of Vici Gaming's heroes are squishy, and if he goes mid, I think this Ags build, this Blink Echo Ags,
so fun.
Is really nice.
Yeah. And it is the Queen of Pain.
They're going to go traditional. It's Queen of Pain versus Lina in the mid lane. Really curious to see how this one's going to shape up, but I'm going to give it to someone who will know a little bit better. It's the Banana, it's the Slamma, it's the Jamma, it's BSJ.
This game, I think we have a classic hold the fort for Vici. They have Empower, and the only problem I have with an Empower lineup is if you lose too many objectives so that you don't have enough space on the map to farm. But I feel like they have a lot of kill potential and burst on TNC, but they don't have the best tower taking potential after they get those kills. So I feel like they're going to have to get too many kills on TNC in order to close off the map for Vici. So I'm going to have to favor the Empower lineup. But if TNC is able to apply that aggression and turn those snowballing kills into more objectives, I think they'll have a great chance of taking this. I'm going to give it over to Toby Wan and Cinder.
TNC's got to be aggressive, because that's exactly what we want to see, Sind.
Yep, it is, and this game is definitely a clash of styles. Vici Gaming, toward the end of the groups, I want to say, started playing a little bit slower in some of their games, and they've taken this style into this game, and I share a lot of the reads and thoughts of the panel and BSJ here as far as what the strengths and the weaknesses of each lineup are, and my biggest concern for Vici Gaming is how do you find fights? Your catch is skewer and cast.
It's almost you have to go back to the old Magnus was like, I blink instantly RP and skewer back.
But he's a position 4.
He is a position 4.
It takes a while to get those items out. It's going to be tricky, I think, for him to get these things done in the game. And when you look at TNC's lineup, it's the other way around. They have plenty. Tiny, who's probably going to get a dagger. He is position 4, so also a bit slower, but Sand King is a great catch. The Infest into Queen of Pain that can potentially jump the back lines. But at the same time, slightly playing on a timer, not too good at taking towers.
Yeah, that's TNC always plays like. You got to have them be aggressive. This is what it is. Just run forward. We have our combinations for kills. Timing as well doesn't also seem to be limited. Like you don't have to wait for the invest to go for a kill. You're talking about this tri-lane that they could actually get away with running if you want to get up in the face of VG Gaming. If you want to try and restrict this area, the VG needs to farm up, needs to be able to control to make the most of that in power.
There's so much. I'll let them release.
Yep.
Okay,
right.
We're good.
Out of the system, or it's just on cooldown for the moment.
There we go. So yeah. As far as TNC's game goes, because of the nature of how their lineup works with being very kill hungry and having a lot of stuns and fighting potential in team fights, and VG being a little more lacking in that department, a lot of the time games like these get very decided in the first 10 minutes, because if the team that has all this catch and all this aggressive potential gets rolling, and the other team can't fight back, sometimes the game they just run out of steam really quickly. VG Gaming, we had a game with that with their mag where they started losing map control. On the other hand, if VG Gaming's laning goes well, TNC can't punish as hard as they want, and then all of a sudden you have a free farming Magnus or a Jugger with Empower, which you have to deal with. So,
yep. So they can't let them have that space. They've got to really try and control VG Gaming. The first battle for the runes is going to be, well, probably not that much of a fight. Tims isn't really going to have a battle against VG Gaming on the bottom lane, and there will be the contest by Cuckoo, as well as AU, which Paparazzi will have nothing to do with. So again, it's just that one floater around the runes, but is it going to be a straight 2-2 trade?
Yep.
So we actually get tri-lane versus tri-lane for the moment. This is how everything always starts. How long do you actually hold this? Like if you're VG Gaming, like how fast do you pull the Magnus back?
I think they're just not. I'm not sure they're getting what they want here.
Well, they're body blocking the wave for the Radiant side, and they're letting theirs go.
Yeah, that's pretty standard nowadays, because what will happen now is this wave will push at the bottom lane. It will push into Enchantress, and she can play control on her side of the lane. But TNC, I think, did the right thing here. You put the Sand King bottom, you get the supports to just stay top and give Lifestealer a good start, and then eventually you can start making some moves. TNC is already moving around, and Sand King is one of the better heroes at dealing with these aggressive tri-lanes, because you can hide in the Sandstorm, you can buy this Quelling Blade right now, put down a sentry when they sentry. If you eat their sentry, they can't kill you. And I think there's only one sentry in play here for VG Gaming, only one on DY, as Magnus is already left and is going top to help Yang.
Yeah.
After the switcheroo.
They both were holding it, but you're right, it's moved off that bottom lane. Still wait for the time for it. Tims and Darmel trying to play against Ori. Normally it's meant to be a little aggressive early on, especially with the Tims Tiny. Always looking for the right opportunity to attack. Same time, Gabby. Greatest thing about a Lifestealer, you've got so much to stay in your own lane up on that top, so you're going to be okay. Especially with the help from Ancient Apparition right behind you.
The lane gets tricky for Lifestealer when Enchantress hits 6. If she hits it early, and Lifestealer doesn't have total free farm, but the free farm aspect is probably in play. It's an Ench Magnus lane, it's very weak. Ench is strong by herself. Magnus doesn't really contribute very much, but he needs to get experience somewhere. So it's just
Tims, he's got to kill off DY. That's not going to work though, but almost did. It's like the worst creeps as well that you can be thrown into, the Ancient Prowlers.
Yeah. But yeah, Lifestealer will be okay happy up here. I think the challenge for VG Gaming in their safe lane is to get Yang 6 as soon as possible without giving Fade no game on the mag. So every minute he will pull this camp, more than likely. And if Ench can get 6 in the meantime while he's doing this, they will end up winning this lane, which has a Magnus in it. If you win your Magnus lane, you're generally very, very happy with that. Doesn't even have to be a huge one. Even a draw most of the time when you have a support mag is a great outcome.
Just talk about winning the lane. The one you're talking about before is like SK can hide inside the Sandstorm and farm on bottom lane. Hasn't had to use a Sentry and Quelling Blade, and hasn't even really got that much CS. He's 5-0 against the 15-4 of Paparazzi. I was expecting Paparazzi to have a pretty good game. Like, Juggernaut hasn't really been the most popular of heroes, but Paparazzi, I don't think there's been a single game where you've said he's performed poorly. And he's going to make this Juggernaut work, especially in the early.
Yeah, I used to have when you think back 1 year, I used to consider Paparazzi one of the more unstable carries in his previous composition in the team. Would sometimes overextend, would make reckless decisions, get killed too much for a carry. I think he has improved a lot lately and really bumped himself up to the top of the list of the best carries in the world. Just mainly, it's not really his mechanics that have improved that much, it's his decision making. He just understands the map better, knows the limits of his heroes better. And it's showing in the results this year.
I feel like I also like on both of these teams, it's the supports that make space for a lot of these cores too. Like, Dwight's been having a great time, but here comes your toss as Tim's going to work very early on. Paralysis does make it difficult to forward. The Avalanche flying space combining with Fire Strike will be first blood. Going the way of Gabby. Paparazzi, there's no real way he can intimidate them to get off his support.
That's great news for Gabby to get the kill. 300 gold, it's the same as 6.5 pips. Now you're going to have to have the swap going around, so Sand King will still stay bottom for now, looking to pull. And I guess he's waiting to see what Vici Gaming's rotations are. Now that Enchantress has TP'd bottom, they might want to swap something around again, and that looks to be the case. Gabby is now starting to run across the map while Sand King stays bottom to face the Enchantress.
Tim's going to go towards mid. Shadow Strike out, or Nice Strike away from Ari. Connects on Mel. Thanks to that regeneration, he's got all the mana and the health to fight this one. Even the health coming in from AU. Now the Magnus might get more. Tim's has got tossed back. Magnus arrived to go for a quick skewer. Grab two paralyzing cast. Tim's as well as AU have to separate themselves up, but look at Armel underneath the tower. Kills off Fate, copping a hell of a lot of damage, but they've got three heroes here. TNC at one. They push underneath the tower. Support's coming in. Maybe now it's a little too deep from Tim's.
That's one. Hey, tiny in the tree. Didn't get the toss that he wanted there in the Witch Doctor. A melee creep came in the way, so Tim's could not get the target that he wanted. But at the very least, they were diving with the chat wheel active, so looking to be in good spirits.
It's what you want to see if you're a TNC fan, right? Like they're getting in there, they're fighting hard. It may not always make total sense, but that's how you topple one of the strongest teams in the tournament.
I like the mindset, though, that they're just trying to put the pressure, right? They're even though that was an overextension, the idea of playing this hard aggression and just keep on cycling cooldowns to get bonus kills, I think is a good approach. You don't want to just sit back and chill. And they've made some good laning adjustments by ensuring that the Sand King is playing against Enchantress, so Lifestealer has a better time. The Lifestealer against Jugger lane's completely fine. They're both gonna farm. If Jugger gets some kill potential with a spin, you just rage it off and you're absolutely safe and sound, so no problem there. Vici Gaming, however, are still the ones with the early lead. They've just got the best gold out of their lanes overall.
Ari's being attacked, so will Gardner, and he's going to run straight past him, looking for the primary kill onto the lead and toss him up, throw him down. Okay.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Confirmed, dead.
Confirmed.
And they did this with the Siege Creep alive too. They might want to keep this alive, but they can't do it. There's no additional creeps, no glyph, and this will not turn into any tower damage. Something to keep in mind, as we've talked about, this team doesn't have the best pushing potential, so you really need to play around those catapults. And the gank timing was good, but the wave was dead.
We're going to go again.
Lina nuked it out.
Wait, hang on. There's a sentry ward down. Tim's is he's playing because he thinks he has the advantage with the extra information, but Fade's here. DY will start with the Maldic, skewer over into Ari, combining with the Laguna Blade. Tim's, man, I know he wants information, I know he feels confident, but that Maldic pop is going to finish him off.
And yeah, he wants to get in here. He wants to get information in the enemy jungle because obviously you're playing against Magnus and Powerline. They're going to be stacking camps for the Jugger to farm later. And while Jugger is farming and playing defensively, can just play super aggressively in lanes because she's so hard to kill. And that's a nice balance in this lineup. Is the pressure that come from that hero as well as the Lina pushing out waves to keep TNC having to go back and defend, clearing up, giving them that space.
Yeah, the Observer and Sentry, they're making sure Ori can't see him coming right up the hill. They'll walk TNC into the mid. Paralyzing cast coming, it's a little bit more problematic. Ori, he's getting a lot of damage. Hey, Yu's going to go down. Ori will still fall for this course. Yang's had time to TP over. Armel TPing out. One more minute, help feel enough damage. And Armel, not enough time on that TP to get away to safety.
Yeah, they were super ready to help out there. Might see a bit of a change up from Ori in the game. Maybe getting a little tankier in his build would be super useful. They seem to be targeting him really hard. Maybe getting one bracer or a raindrop. Anything that can give him just that little extra time for them to connect, and this could go. but I think
he's already had
getting
3 of the deaths, the 5 kills the TNC has claimed. So
they're targeting him really hard, but guess what that means? That just Enchantress and Jugger are having great games, and now that Gabby's playing against Ench, you see the problem. He's getting zoned out, won't be able to farm here, and he's going to leave this lane. It's not feasible for him to stay up here. And of course, you have Empower lineup. Sure, you target out one core, but you're not even targeting the guy who's going to, carry the game, which should more than likely be the Juggernaut with Empower. So the upside, of course, is the guy that they're targeting is the primary playmaker. And if you stifle Lina a bit, VG Gaming will be playing more defensively. But so far, it's okay. They're getting what they need.
yeah, TNC need to add more pressure. But they still don't have the perfect timing yet. The Infest from Gabby just being used for farming and lane presence for the moment. And Cuckoo doesn't have that delivery system with the Blink Dagger, but it looks like they can give them top lane. But it really does feel like SK needs to get a lot more before TNC can be properly enabled, even with Tim plus.
Both the items queued up on Sand King are super good this game. I suppose you will get the dagger first, but I still think you get Veil after that. It's incredible for your whole team. Insane amounts of magic damage to get amplified by it. It's gonna get dusted.
Alright, Cuckoo, however, Burrow strikes the other side. He'll be away.
Did that okay? Minus 90 gold. There's nobody there to help him. That kill is just flat out not happening. Yeah. But maybe a bit of a fear factor going forward.
Cuckoo feels fine enough to spy up the bottle. Just walk through, back up to full health and decent mana. Good timing for it as well as the 10-minute bounty runes are at the spawn. TNC's looking to fight around the bottom, but Radiant scan up on the hill. It does ping, so they're already a little bit concerned. Witch Doctor throws out the cast, won't bounce to anyone. Juggernaut ready to fight, needs some damage with Maldic already being committed. Ancient Apparition is back relative safety with 4 seconds to the runes. Sentry Ward Doctor getting real caught out by the flash. Maybe with the heal, that was still not going to be enough. But PG Gaming, they want to fight. Shockwave connects on 2. The Infest, Tiny, where are you going? Yeah, you've got someone else in front of you now. Gabby will pop out. Paparazzi's already got the kill on Tim's. Well, up on top, Cuckoo keeping Yang away from the runes because he burrow striked in. No escape. Sandstorm was just on cooldown. And Yang, well, he already had the dust anyways. So, big kills from VG Gaming happening on both sides of the map.
And it's Siege free play. They're pushing out Lana. Enchantress is starting a push up top as well, has 2 waves. And that catapult, so bottom tower definitely going down. Mid tower, see Fade immediately walking over here to try and defend it. So more than likely be absolutely successful there.
Double DY. Tims has already killed him.
And he's dead. That's really high levels on Tiny. Level 7 now, minute 10. That's great for him.
He's been involved in all of the kills. All 7. 2 kills, 5 assists.
Cores on Vici Gaming are happy. We talked about this is the early game, the early stage.
Steal underneath the 2 tower mid. 8. Sonic Wave pushes him back. The Shadow Strike was going to kill him. Uphill. We're trying to push the issue. Ari will arrive, but it's all a little too late.
So another extra kill going the way of TNC onto Fade, but where's the tower damage? Are you limiting the Vici Gaming from getting what they want accomplished? They got the bottom tower, they're almost getting the top tower, and this is the farming side that's doing the pushing, right? This is the lineup that you expected would maybe be a little bit slower, and they are still the first ones to get a tower and almost get the second one. So very good news for Vici Gaming. Top lane.
The eye is coming with it just to hold him there, and they're able to do so. Yang.
Nice execution.
Felt really good about pushing the tower as well, but the Midas took out the catapult, and then push power just came a little too slow, and still by himself. Just in case you needed to raise the spirits.
Yep.
VG, like, you've still done heavy damage to the tier 1 tower up on top. You've taken the bottom tier 1 tower as well. Is this that point where you're actually happy to let the tier 1 tower go? Is he keeping in?
This is dangerous.
Oh, here comes your avalanche already. DY, open wounds, dump, move away, paralyzing cast, making it difficult for TNC to instantly disengage. Paparazzi as the on-flash fell. Here comes your on whatsoever. Yang and Paparazzi both getting chilled to the bone. And they need more help to arrive. Fade's thinking about making his own play. He skewer himself away. He won't skewer into the RP if they really want to have the fight. But maybe now Ori can find an exiting hero. With a Fire Strike array, they control Cuckoo. He'll Burrow Strike away, but because he's been dusted up, one more attack. He went down to 18 HP. The Shockwave, it pulls him back down to 29. They still need one more. The flame. Ori. The power
Really nice. Super good spellcasting. They hit so many things from the edge. The shockwave was great. The dragon flame in the end just barely clipping. They get the impetus off as well before he gets down. And I thought they were going to lose this tower and maybe a couple of kills, but they end up holding it barely, and they are the ones rewarded with a tower kill. They get this on the Jugger. He's now far ahead of the curve.
He's right in front of 3 heroes.
And, yep. Oh, he's not walking up.
All right.
Maybe old Paparazzi would have farmed that. But Paparazzi.
I'm hoping for it. The Ice Blast just flew straight over the top of him.
Version 2.0 does not make that mistake anymore.
That's the kind of clean, sharp play. That's the reason why a lot of people were backing VG Gaming coming into this TI.
Yep.
Even over teams like LGD. So Fade's getting his time to farm up inside the jungle. There's so much space in the jungles. DY earning all the fantasy points by stacking every single possible camp he can.
You love that, don't you? On your team today?
Of course I do.
Oh, of course.
Of course I do. Like, you're 14 minutes into the game and he's got 13 fantasy points. That's how DY moves.
Oh, he has haste now. So
Yeah.
also.
That was the intended visual pun.
Oh, I didn't know you were looking at that. I was looking at my own.
I'm looking at everything, man. I see all. Gabby takes the tier 1 tower up on top. Actually, he misses the last hit on it. But still be a tier 1 tower dropping. The mid tier 1 tower is being chipped away. Fade will finally come out and defend that. But VG Gaming starting to have some damage done to their map control. Losing the tier 1 tower up on top as well as mid. This is really going to start to feel a restriction and an opportunity for TNC to at least gain some vision. If you get those orbs down, see where VG is moving.
I thought VG were not going to fight the top tower, but defend everything else, or try to defend everything else in the game. But showing that they already want to defend the top tower, I think they're willing to fight for every tower on the map. The question is, TNC, they're getting a bit surprised here in mid, have to pop the blip. 3 minutes came out here.
Support's arriving as well. Passes to back lines. He'll connect over early on Fade. To an RML, TP'd into the side trees with Tim's. But VG is fine with this. There's still going to be a 2-2 rune trade. Yang still building up, and if TNC want to fight, VG are more than ready. Level 2 Omni Slash. The Manta Style is freshly done over on Paparazzi. Ari with your Scepter knows he's able to control or potentially escape. The only thing they're really missing from this fight is kind of fake Blink Dagger. Then it feels a lot better for VG. Then there's that initiation you were talking about.
And they don't have to brute force this mid tower, but what they're accomplishing by going there is they're forcing TNC to react, and that means they're not making their own moves. So it's the good old saying, right? Sometimes a good offense is the best defense. Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Sometimes the best defense is the good offense.
Yeah, other way around.
No, but it was the same thing I said, just in the other order. But anyway, you get what I mean. Play aggressive, and in return, you end up defending your mid lane. Because every time they make the move first and TNC react, it's a win as long as they're farming too. So stretch that as much as you can, right? You know you're not playing the highest stun teamfight lineup, but if you can get skirmishes going and make TNC buff you, it's good news.
TNC still have more time to wait before they can fight. We actually thought the coup might go the Blink Dagger. We went Veil and now is going into the Blink, so it still feels like it needs both items. Almost the downside about VG Gaming, yeah, you could farm up inside your own jungle, but because these tier 1 towers have been taken out, there's some safer areas for TNC to farm on bottom lane, because VG don't want to keep pressuring this. In fact, VG, they're looking for their own kind of movement. TNC are smoked up looking for thing on bottom lane. No one's coming to contest that. Once again, VG arrive at the tier 1 tower in mid.
Did you notice TNC's move? They started making their own move towards bottom. VG started pushing it toward mid.
Saving himself, and the engine apparition trapped underneath. Tanking is dying in the back lines too. The Maldit, I think it's actually going to end up popping him off camera. Yep, that's what happens. Your Scepter, it's just the catch out. I'm up preventing back. TNC are playing stuck in the mud, and no one wants to run through their legs.
Perfect fight from them. If Yang could have somehow not been clipped by the Ice Blast, that's the ideal fight, but they still got that on him, so they get the 1 kill. But again, TNC trying to move bottom, VG immediately pressure mid, TNC cross back, and then there's that fight and the tower. And it doesn't look like much with a 2k gold lead, but this kind of lineup hits this point of critical mass when Jugger becomes a monster. He is so far ahead, already 2,000 gold ahead of the Lifestealer, And if you keep letting this guy farm up him and Aegis, and high procedure too.
It's always got so many damn stacks. And we're actually seeing this moment again, so the RP, while the on slash was still going, just gives up the triple kill. It's like, yep, okay, nice.
Nice
Nice off. Yeah, looking for Fade. Avalanche, toss combination. This is what TNC wanted. Even though the Blink tactic gets bought by Fade, he won't lose any money. They need to be aggressive.
Okay.
Now Lifestealer caught out. He'll reach up quickly. Just wants to run out, but he can't make it to the creep. The death able to continue to reach out, not to mention all the Ori buff. That's the first reveal of the Shadow Blade too. He only just got this.
Yeah, this is not that common of a Lina build nowadays, but immediately put to use for a great kill. It's a good way for them to keep pain as well. So, yeah, it seems like every time TNC get even a little bit going, it's like, yay, we got the mag kill. Oh, we lost our carry. So the trade-off once again against them.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
What? The kill on the lifestealer.
Man, he's almost finished his Skadi. Like, we're 20 minutes in. He's got enough to pick up the ultimate orb, just needs the money for the point booster now. Iron Blast is flying again. That one will be short. If it did connect, Tims was there ready to go, but he'll deward the sentry. Instead, just pressure being applied on all sides. Cuckoo's trying to keep him out of the bottom. He also now has the Blink as well as Veil. Bring in this team fight from TNC. And if it's just on a team fight, at least a pick off.
It's starting to feel a little bit trickier. I think they're going to wait for the lifesteal. The timing that they want to try to find a team fight.
They have other items which let them fight. Like, obviously, any apparition is able to enable Tims. As long as they have a setup and can go from range with the Ice Blast. But the Orchid build over on Queen of Pain, this comes around the 20-minute mark. Is there enough momentum in TNC to really justify an Orchid up?
It's just not very good this game, is it? Like, Juggernaut has Mantis Style, he can remove it. The Shadow Blade and Usual, she can remove it, and the Enchantress is first step, so if she gets Orchid, she can reposition herself. It's just very limited plays with this item. I think, sure, maybe you could get the Magnus, or you could get the Witch Doctor, but it's not the way you want to start the fight going on the Witch Doctor. So, it's a bit tricky for TNC, honestly. Like, when this Radiance comes out, let's see what they're going to do. It's one thing to have the tools to fight with. Will you find the fight too? You can't just to a tower and be like, hey, Vici, come at us. We're stronger than you, come fight us, because your tower push is atrocious. Pretty bad. Like, Lifestealer needs maybe Desolator before he truly starts hitting these towers, and he can't basically commit rage to do tower damage, because then he exposes himself to getting killed off afterwards.
And he's not going yeah, the Radiant completed an Armlet's next to quick fire.
I mean, he wouldn't go Deso second item anyway. Yeah. So it's just,
just that time you now have to wait.
This time right now is when TNC's strategy is meant to be ahead and destroying the opponent, and it missed. Just didn't happen. So now you're back on recovery mode, plan B.
Vici's ready to fight. They smirk up. 4 heroes together. BT's on Ori, so he's going up to the top lane to push it out, but it's Fade. Gonna look for the jump in towards mid. Tims hiding in the tree. VG Gaming just a little bit to the side, reveals himself, quick blink away.
Broke the smoke on Mag, but they didn't see him.
The extra TP coming from Cuckoo. Arriving under the shrine, 4-man smoke from TNC. Probably feeling that they have an opportunity, and definitely do. Blink, Barb strong, combining with the Ice Blast. Enchantress very much put out the full stop. Will dodge the Ice Blast, but the Sonic has to commit him down while Tims catches D1 in the back lines. And that's what TNC want. Chaotic split from VG Gaming, not in the position that VG wanted to fight.
Yep, they couldn't RP there, and they the easiest kill heroes caught first. Enchantress dies very quickly if she gets hit by all this magic burst. And you see what he is quick by. He wants a cloak, just any resistance value that he can get right now to try to stay alive. So it kills, but still no tower damage. Still not good, and they're going to be forced back.
VG's going to look to fight the second tour up again. There's a double damage turn. He actually gave his bottle over to Juggernaut, so they're able to bottle this D for as long as they can.
Oh, quick reaction from Cooper there. On the...
He realized he was underneath the sentry. But this battle for Vision's definitely kicking in now. D1 already gets rid of the northern sentry, puts it in a observe ward. Information around Roshan begins. Can the team really go to the pit though? Like, can they actually take Roshan without It feels like
Dire are scanning.
answer to
Yeah.
who is first.
If you're going for Vici, you're kind of risking a lot because if an item just fly on you, you're setting up the Sand King to jump in, you could suddenly start losing multiple heroes in the pit. And if you're TNC and you go in there, well, you have another problem. You can't kill them. So.
How much damage Ari has got. Tim's actually able to get the avalanche off. Moves into the tree line. Needs 2 seconds. 1 second. Got attacked. Just tosses Tim's away. Needs some more time. Dodging. No, he can't. Here comes the rest of the support. Paparazzi Yang. They've arrived and Tim's will die in the trees. But there's still a 5-man commitment from VG Gaming coming to the bottom lane to kill off the support.
Yeah, they're gonna leave Jugger down here to push the tower, and then I reckon they might rotate the Enchantress up once her P is ready to try to make a fight top as well. Jugger has his ready.
Yeah, look how fast over RP. He's done with Laguna Blade. RP comes down. You are going nowhere, Armel. They just used every stun available, and the Life Stealer who was just around the corner still was just like, I cannot help.
He can't touch the guy I was looking for.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
You're playing without. Be extra wary of what heroes you're showing there, because you can't buy the time.
Radiant's bottom
If your guy
tower
gets
is under
hurt
attack.
when you're splitting in multiple lanes, there's nobody who's going to protect this Queen of Pain and keep her from dying. Sand King is your best bet, but he's mid.
That Observer Ward, they're trying to use it again
Radiant's
to get the
middle tower is
initiation
under
off.
attack.
There's still 30 seconds before the runes are up, but see that double damage Juggernaut, and they're definitely thinking twice, but there's no RP available. And now the jump comes in, a bar being used defensively from Cuckoo. They're really running steady TNC. Like if this was TNC with confidence, they would have just instantly gotten. That's a double Burrow strike into possible AP into like glory.
It's that easy. If they're all there and they hit,
TNC, you're out, Lord.
if they're all hit all spells main, you've got to be super wary with. If you're committing Jugger and you don't kill him, he's gonna turn and kill 2 or 3 heroes with Omni. That's the kind of Juggernaut game this is right now. He's just so far ahead of everybody else, and they know it too. It's very obvious in the game that Paparazzi is way ahead of the curve. And TNC, I agree with you. They should be trying to find that TNC let's go spirit, but there's always 2 teams in the game, and if just present the easy opportunity, it's easier spent. And VG Gaming are not giving them many openings to take a fight.
TNC keeping a close eye on Roshan. That's the opportunity that they're really hoping for. VG feel confident they can move inside the pit, and it gives TNC that clustered team fight that they need to force VG into. But it ain't happening for the moment. Paparazzi just continues to farm up. That butterfly is rapidly approaching. Ari's having the same type of thing. BK steal the arcane room from right in front of a Cuckoo. Yields her up. Ari's going to hit the line strike array, but a Burrow strike does get Cuckoo into a relatively safe position.
VG Gaming just keep gaining on the map. They keep pushing, they keep farming with their Empower. They'll constantly nuke out the mid wave with the Lina. Top lane, doesn't really matter. There's nothing up there right now. Tims will still go there because it's the best play he has on the map is to push this and hope to force a reaction that can ultimately set them up for some sort of skirmish or fight. But again, the pushing threat is not very serious. And therefore VG Gaming are totally fine with just clearing out the map every 30 seconds, get whatever they want, and play for bounty runes. But right now, they're choosing to smoke. They're seeing an opportunity that's not here. She's showing top, and that's what's kind of setting up the play. TNP, false feeling of safety here.
They just de-water both the ult and the sentry, but Avalanche toss with the Ice Blast. This would be a kill. It's over on DY, but it's DY. He'll buy back. He's a support. That's not what they wanted, but you'll take...
Simply just play around this Roshan area to pose this threat of killing the Rosh or of invading the jungle. The smoke from VG Gaming, obviously in that instance, did not work out, so that's a bit of a minor win for TNC, but no progression being made as to what will end up winning them this game. There's only one type of play really left that will win them the game, and that's that big team fight where they get the jump. The skirmishes don't really exist anymore, and maybe you can get one pickup here or there, maybe get a Witch Doctor, maybe get an Enchantress, but it doesn't cut it.
No.
You gotta aim bigger.
Because there's no system. through the butterfly, like it's going to be difficult. Magical burst, set go again, but eventually they'll need to have an answer to Paparazzi. They'll need to have an answer to this insane level of farm he's managed to achieve.
It's the butterfly purchase. He's gonna go top, start pushing out, get him power.
28 minutes in.
He has
it's
60 armor.
Sure.
He's ice armored by what? Edge creep.
Edge creep.
Where's the edge creep?
I don't know. Like, must be on the other side.
He's been taking many creeps as a wolf right now.
Cuckoo under the cover of smoke. Yang, and that feels like bait. Cuckoo, blink, fires, tries, blast coming in with a full stop. Oryx is pushed away. So is Nate, but he will silence up, so no RP about before. And maybe with Tim's control on the back line, G-White under another release. Here comes Gabby once again, looking for a target for the Omni Slash. The damage is ridiculously good. Tim has been pushed away. He does get the life stealer inside of him. The downhill fall from the ground. Impetus is a lot of damage. He has to hide in the pit. 2, 1. Now Blake away to safety.
The illusion
taking
runs.
Gabby with him.
We're so close to getting one swinging. If they get hit on the tiny, they both die. Huge for TNC to get out of that mess. They still didn't really win the exchange, but at the very least it wasn't a complete disaster.
Vortex is giving some information. Tim's just had to toss his tree in, but with the Vortex, Tim's, you can see him. He's got an observer and sentry around the side, but wait, he didn't realize the dire circle in front of him. Forster, he'll find dodge the stun, throws out the avalanche. Here comes your ice buzzer. You're going to find inside the pit. Tim's the only one hit by that. And that's an ally. Gabby, how can he get away? 3 seconds till Infest. Up the hill, continues to rage, continues to toggle. He does the distance. All right, time jump the dragon. Now get a little bit more. He's still realizing that there's just vision absolutely everywhere, but now Armel jumps in once more. Looking for a target, won't happen.
So patient outside. He's just waiting on the low ground for TNC to make any misstep so he can blink RP with that empowered jugger.
Back to Roshan. SK prepping the MP, blinks forward. Hits the power strike over towards Lena. He's under a current sentry ward, so he feels okay inside this sandstorm, but still both the abilities from Ori able to connect. Fade looking for the skewer, blindly attempting drag him away, but it won't happen.
Still overall a net game for Vici Gaming in these last 2 minutes with tons of fighting. They're still the one coming out on top. TNC using buybacks on both the AA as well as the Tiny. And keep in mind, Vici Gaming took the fights without...
Money to burn. Dire are scanning.
That on top of the hill, but great force stuff. Getting some distance. But definitely looking for the fight on Roshan. That's why that AA blast ended up in the pit, not out the front of it. Don't know how you can actually highlight that entire thing, because it kept going on for a good minute and a bit.
Very long, but...
Adamine Steel is watching Roshan. This observer and sentry actually down from the Radiant, just north of the pit. That's actually what gave Tiny his confidence to do what he did, but now it's going to get de-watered out. We've got a Gem of True Sight over on Orange. No more hiding. Ice Blast coming in. G-White, forced off. Just push it. Not shield up. He breaks the sword. Here's from Armel. He blinks in with a script. Cuckoo needs a distance. Buster comes up. He'll die through the middle of the burrow. And TNC are fighting in to VG Gaming. And eventually had to bite him in the butt. Once more for 2 cores, 3 cores. Away inside the jungle and down the hill. Another Yule Scepter. Up he goes. Light Striker Ray Farm. Won't happen. Rage is there to protect Gabby. The TNC are on the retreat. Now TNC, who forced the buybacks out from VG, Jug, and Witch Doctor, all committing them.
that was huge from them. This combination is massively important for the outcome of this game. If they are to win, that's the play that did it.
They're going to finish for a shot. RP's down, so they're feeling confident about this.
And I think Vici are going to let them have it.
Oh, watch Fade. He wants to jump in, and no, okay, no, don't stop watching Fade. It ain't going to happen anymore.
I still watching Fade a moment.
Okay, maybe we should start watching him again. He may actually go down. Overstated is welcome. The Ice Blast comes in. He'll shatter the bar drive from Cuckoo. They keep the control up. And Fade dead for a very long time. He committed the buyback before, so TNC, with a fresh Vegas in hand, they're going to push down mid.
Yep. No RP for 60 seconds. And that's the big team fight they have to be scared of when they're playing into VG Gaming. But now that it's not available, sure, there's this strong jugger, but he doesn't have Empower. Empower is dead, RP is dead. They might just choose to go high ground with this. It's not going to be that easy, but it's easily the best opportunity they've had all game to do something big.
Some good wave clear now, VG Gaming. And it looks like TNC, they're not going to push the issue. They're coming back, looking for Funk. It's already grabbed the bottom lane. It's going to push out with command units.
And I would have loved to see them go front there. I think this is a missed opportunity. I don't think it's going to get much easier than this. You have this Aegis for 5 minutes. You can start poking this tower, see what you can get out of it while Empower is not there. But now instead, you're going to be seeing at more than likely full force when it happens again. I reckon they will be smoking for the bounty rune fight. Potentially, if there is a smoke available. There is one on DY.
No, he's spending his time taunting in front of the tier 3 tower with paparazzi. Just like, okay guys, let's get back into this. They're actually pinging out where they built the observer ward is, and they're actually 100% right. The sentry is in range, but someone needs to actually cut through the tree. Oh, they'll see it. But don't worry, that's why DY's got a quelling blade. That's the wrong one.
Wow, it's actually... That's 4 runes. You can see it. Wow.
He's grabbed the top one now. To work with Laguna Blade. Ice Blast flying forward. Ori moves away. The money starts rolling in. Not that much though. Like, we're still cheap to the ground for round. It's about 12,500 be the net worth in the way of TNC. It's back to around 7.5k.
It's back
the
to 5.
Experience is swinging up too. It's actually kicking. Yeah, it is.
And the winning expectancy went from clearly in VG Gaming's favor to actually slightly favoring TNC now all of a sudden. Big loss from VG Gaming in the last 5 minutes.
Still feels like VG have a lot to work with though.
They do.
They just reset and start this all over again. You've lost a little bit of map control, but you've got everything you need for a team fight.
You do, but if this Roshan situation doesn't happen, you've got the game completely under control. And instead, you open up an opportunity for TNC to get a couple of kills and an Aegis, and suddenly...
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's not just... They're getting towers because of this. They got the mid-tier 2, they're getting the top tier 2 when everything was on lock.
Dire's top tower is falling.
This pressure on Fade on his Magnus this game. He's super good on this hero, but if you're playing against world-class teams, it can be difficult to find that great RP. It doesn't have to be multiple heroes necessarily, but he needs to find the right guy that he can connect the Jugger to, show him on his slash, and snowball the from there.
And Tim's, you're living life on the edge when you go and do that. Just, TY, Fade. Can't close enough for him. They knew he was up. He avalanched the Juggernaut underneath the tier 3 tower. Blinks, 4 stars, TPs, and only barely gets out. But you're definitely seeing like that kind of play. That's confidence there from TNC. That's them looking to have Tim's jump in and not even just try and find something now, but always make VG Gaming look behind them.
Yep.
Play the erratic style of Dota that TNC is able to crush teams with.
So what big... Oh, they saw the smoke. They never de-warded the ward, and they actually smoked at this exact spot. TNC know it's coming. This could be huge for them. They can bait the Lifestealer with the Aegis in front.
Where do you fight? Where do they want to be?
On their own high ground. If they run into Lifestealer, he can just straight run into them and start this fight off.
It seems like a very odd place to throw down a sandstorm, though, because if VG Gaming see this, it's like, this tornado does not look natural.
Alina does have the scythe to open with, and they do have the BKB on Enchantress. Also, these new toys for VG Gaming can become very useful. Also, BKB on Jugger, 10 seconds on him. You don't find any open.
But they did see the Kobold Soldier moving around, which kind of told them that TNC was up near the shrine, or at least one player was. So they were a little bit more cautious about moving forward. So just leave 2 observer walls behind. But yeah, man, they really need to find the Observer was like it's 1 minute and 42 seconds away from full duration. It's definitely his job. Now TNC can look to fight on their own terms.
Well,
I've still for the first time as well. It's actually cracked the top 3, top 2 in the network position. I say that as Ori just gets a little bit more fun. It's like,
yeah, he's caught up, right?
Yeah,
That's
you're keeping up with it with the Magnus empowered lineup. Obviously, Ori doesn't get anywhere near as much from it.
he just down.
Yep, waited out the time.
This mid lane is being a bit annoying for VG Gaming. We'll have to deal with it there. We're going to TP back the Magnus, just full on retreat. We're not going to push out any more than this. We've got it across the river and a little bit of time to take care of the lanes. Stabilize again so we don't get caught. Just farm the triangle as well with Jugger every minute when it respawns.
It feels like a lot of safety.
Yeah.
Only a couple of at TI instead of just top. Okay, yeah, we'll just keep fighting and we'll fuel the beast. And you understand, they just got to change the tempo. Also, like BHA was saying, like as long as you control up the map area, you will forever scale power buffer. But when do you reach the limit? When does Paparazzi hit a point where it's like, okay, I cannot grow anymore?
Well, it's not only Paparazzi, right? It's not the classic way of thinking about Magnus and Power with these other 2 heroes, but both Enchantress and Lina are actually hitting hard. Lina went for a physical build. Went this hybrid where it started with the Yules and Shadowblade, and now he's transitioning Fiery Soul stack talent, attack range talent, health, so he's more sustainable in the fights, and now he's going Pitiless. So you empower this guy, he's going to hit like a truck as well. And that's the kind of hero that Lifestealer doesn't like to face in late game, is one that has massive range, can hit him from anywhere he wants, and actually force him out of the fight during rage. That is the... And no smoke. Man, smokes just seem to not be working in this game. Like nobody is finding anything.
Regeneration. I'll take your tribute. That's nice.
I give VG warning. What do? They control up the bottom half of, like literally the bottom half of their side, like a little early one, and very offensive ward on the hillside, watching the mid. There's no gank in the lane. Everything else they're just leaving to TNC.
It's sort of like a roughly 50 split up the map.
Yep.
So not really advantage going either way.
But no one has vision on the other side of the map, really, apart from that one observe ward, which is now timed out. Tim's. He blinked up there.
Ori's fast.
It's
Ori's real fast.
Seconds. Here's the slipper up. It was yeah, Lystra. Counter-tanky Tim's supports the right from Paparazzi. Death ward also being committed and protected by the Scepter, but amplified for Laguna from
leave the game.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, leave it for 100 seconds. TNC. Okay, so you just won. What's your reaction? All right, let's group up and try and fight. Cuckoo's ready in the tree lines. Fade. He's going to walk into them. The sentry ward. Okay, no, walk into the lane instead. Fade has dust about. If he wants to jump, he can.
And she's far away though, and they're not really interested in fighting without her. So they accomplish this exactly what's being drawn right now. This is where they are. They own this part of the map. Who needs to start pushing up the bottom side, so they're starting to rotate all their heroes bottom. And in the meantime, Paparazzi and Ori will start pushing out mid with the hope of getting the tier 2 tower and protect Roshan, which is currently being ice blasted.
He's 1 minute away from spawning. But almost going to defend mid. I'll take the tier 2 tower. Seems easy enough. Paparazzi claims the last hit. Pressure on bottom lane will be able to reach the team tower on bottom lane. That's actually not taking a single point of damage. VG gains off lane power. Tim's fire strikes forward. Live Stealer is very patient. Paparazzi just, yep, fortification actually gets wasted. There's no real creep wave with them. They just burn it. It does help the push off bottom lane a little bit, but that's it.
I think the back protection was not kicking in. They had a creep wave.
Illusion.
That TN surprise is coming up. In fact, right now, Cuckoo playing around that combination. The up hit. Oh, the all-sector. The mistiming. This is not good for Beach. We'll try and roll. He can't TP.
Double kill.
Oh, control. Just keep letting it rip it. What else being looked at? Sonic Mel to bring down Paparazzi and Witch Doctor. It'll be a dive back for DY. Cuckoo's not done yet. He Burrow strikes forward, but he cannot connect on the Lena. One small mistake from VG Gaming and TNC pounce like the tigers they are.
Ooh, that RP, Toby, that was not good. That was not good from Fade. He wanted to catch the Sand King before the Yule, but they mistimed it completely. I'm sure we're going to get a replay of this, but...
Sure we will. This is Roshan's going to go down to...
That is worst case scenario. You want to RP the Lifestealer so you can Omni-Slash him. Instead, he tries to RP the Sand King. It misses. We're going to see it here. Just barely. Wait, was that even his own Yule? I think it was, and not the Lena, hopefully. But
it was the case.
Unlucky on the Omni-Slash. If he keeps continuing on the Lifestealer with that, maybe he can even kill him off. And then the back to everything aligning for Gabby. He didn't have the KB. He could have easily hit and missed some more attacks on the Butterfly, but they get the bash and they get the Omni-Slash RNG and all of this. TNC are in the lead.
And look what they do instantly too. Infest Lifestealer into Cuckoo. They'll beat him to the bottom lane. They want to start taking some of these towers. The chicken tree line, so Gabby, he's got a little bit of extra cover. Don't have a Tinker Ward, use an Ice Blast. They want to remove all these outer towers, and to think like VG Gaming's early pressure, they're going to be the first team to all outer towers. Yes, he still hold their tower on top lane.
Yep.
I'm liking this pickup. Aeon just from Enchantress, because she seems to just be going on and just blasted. Not even a chance for a BKB.
You need to find a way for Lena to start the fight, I think. You can't rely on RP, and you can't really rely on any of that. That's the limitation of the lineup we talked about, that they don't have very much in the way of catch. Lena has the Hex, so you need to fight in Vision, start with the Hex, follow up. When TNC respond, that's when you can get that big RP. For now, TNC still seem unable to push high ground, but so much ground in terms of the economy.
Oh yeah, we've moved from a 13,000 to now a 7,000, 8,000 advantage for TNC, but the experience graph swings 25 grand. It's looking good for TNC, but can they still hold it? There's still the chance. VG Gaming, obviously, they're a world-class team. If they just get one good fight, we can swing back the other way.
It's a Magnus game. And King and they kill him, he could just buy back and TP on his shrine, and then you don't have an RP for that fight. So no matter how you look at it, that is not the way you approach this play.
Paparazzi coming in. Paparazzi in trouble. The Burrow Strike's already getting a quick force stop. Gets Paparazzi further away. He's able to get to the spin, but he had to sacrifice himself. That's all. So back inside. BKB burnt to Juggernaut. Watch that buyback marker. 3 of them are in the red for VG Gaming because 3 of them are all on cooldown. But it's the 2 bigger cores from VG that have that second life.
Great heads-up play from Arno. The moment on that guy, he jumped and silenced the Magnus.
And Yang's burning so much mana just to get this little harassment damage into Gabby. Pick him up. Protection is there from Aeon. And, yeah, hey, remember, he took out the AGC model, so he's going to tank it.
Yep. VG are doing everything they can to buy time. They're even sending down a converted Lifestealer illusion down the mid lane. And that will actually force Cuckoo back. He has travels though.
Yeah, he can come straight back again.
But he's buying that time. Every second right now is about getting Magnus up and alive. You've lost so much damage when this guy is dead. And power is for Jugger, and power for Ench, and power for Lena, and that RP.
The Omni Smash. Now he's able to have it twice as well as the BKB twice.
I think he's going to activate his Omni Slash and then he's going to swap it in for phase boots and then refresh and go for it again, or swap it in. You've got to swap it in for phase.
Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, he needs everything else. Jab. There's your jump.
Heal us.
Gabby will try and run back up the hill, but he wants to stay with him, and he actually spends it. He blinks over to the side. Tim's, how many times can he be the get out of jail free card underneath the tire of Overlord? They see him. Back into the fight. You'll end up losing Fade once again. But he's the sacrificial lamb. Orange moved in with his own legs, controlling Tim's on the sideline. Have to finish one then the other, or Gabby can just go full Artur. Try to actually get more kills. He's picked up the support. Now they're going to focus on him. Tim running for his own combination. He'll jump in for the... Trying to fuck this one out. Actually got the damn with Bash on yet. Gabby wants to be the real immortal. They'll turn back over to Tim's. EG Gaming. They just can't decide who they want to kill. The TB out from Leipzig will be successful at 400 HP. Tim's, can he get out as well? Back past the freeway. They can't reach him. They're away.
How many lives to the moments do we need in this tournament? Are you sure they kited? That was like a 30-40 second kiting, basically. They both get out alive. Beautifully done by TNC, apart from the part where they dove the base and
the face from Gabby, yeah!
But the end of it was cool. So bounty rune time.
You know, this game starts looking like it could be very one-sided affair for VG Gaming, but here they go again. But Gabby is there. They'll get the hit. The assist is done. Plus the follow-up. Nice ball. The all-step will kick in, but straight back down again to death.
The confidence from send these heroes up there. They're playing 3-on-5.
That's nice.
Travesty, they could have just died, both of them. But they took the risk. They get the rune and a kill. And it's a big kill too. It's the Lina. Dead for 80 seconds. This is the moment of opportunity. No Roshan, of course, but you at least re-establish map control.
You still have Juggernaut forcing out the lane. Pavarad is still the biggest hero on the map. Gabby is definitely getting... We're actually seeing this whole little chase again, but you are your best play timing arriving for the...
Dire's top shrine has fallen.
With the Hex first.
There's more than enough damage on VG Game lineup. It's about to keep heroes in place and kill them. The life is a problem. He's counting them. There's Force Staff, there's Yules, there's...
So why you're seeing Magnus building into a refresher orb as well?
Yeah, that's a bit vicious.
I just second RP, but that's a lot of money.
You don't need the second one, you just need the first one. Just hit it. RP them. Easier said than done.
Yeah, that sounds like your pub games.
Yeah. Why don't you RP the whole team? Absolutely. Fate. This is Fate's game, though. To be fair, he's had some questionable decisions, and it's also in part been because they consider him a save in the sense that Jugger will go in front. They're going to turn him around and force him away, and then, well, guess what? Fate just gets blink orchided by Quap and killed off. Where it's happened 2 or 3 times. Whenever Mag gets caught by the Queen, it's a huge play. For that situation, I think getting a Yule Scepter in this game would be very useful. But he doesn't seem to be planning for it. He's going for the big item. It's just so far away.
It's kind of hoping the TNC is going to find EG Gaming. Yeah, they're looking for a big fight if they can claim one. But with the Nullifier and Lifesteal, Storm may be disabled. Up, Yang's bringing an Aghanim Scepter into this fight. They're able to get the range. You need to get this quick kill over on Kuku. He's been such a problem for them with a blink skewer back. They have him dead for 100 seconds. Timing to watch, but you do need to get control of the lanes. TNC, they're pushed out top, they're pushed out bottom.
And they're missing.
Well, they're cheap. Of course, you're one player down. What do you do with your TNC? Let's go and fight. Do they use any major abilities? No. Does that matter? No. the surplus is almost enough for the Juggernaut to buy the Abyssal Blade. Feels like Paparazzi kind of needs that. So much space is being created by Gabby just by getting this initial jump in with Bio Strike, the perfectly timed Abyssal Blade, and then he's even getting bashes on top of this. Just because of that insane attack speed he's able to achieve.
Not completely sure. Instead of maybe a Lincoln Sphere. For that reason, like you get Link stunned and you die in the fight. That's just the life of Lina late game. You're not a tanky enough hero, or Tim's.
Sitting there in lane.
He's
Looking
trying
to play
for
it
it.
out. How much damage have you got, Ori? Putting it to the test from inside the trees. Even a little bit more. Goes in for Protect. The rest of VG around Roshan, but Ori's just going to do this solo. Tim's is down.
Very nicely done. That
And
was,
Roshan spawning in 3 seconds time.
I think that was actually a perfect kill. I don't think you could have done anything better.
Look at this from VG. They know Yang's the one that can be protected thanks to his Aeon Disc. They'll get rid of that vision of TNC around Roshan. And they're actually going for more. They're coming. No. 4-star Finn. That long range damage, but that's why Glimmer Cape, level of Protect is available, but he comes to train with the
God.
that and Yang just
Impetus talent, damage talent, empower, the 2 range items. He 3-shot the A.
Now they go for Roshan. Nope. Already wants to finish that top tier 2 tower with Paparazzi. The creep wave will probably do it for them. Well, they're coming back over. They want Roshan still. And the creep wave actually doesn't do it. You've got Cuckoo and Mel. They have an infested light inside of Cuckoo. With the Gem of True Sight, what have we got? There's an Observer Ward to the north. There isn't a sentry, however, but Roshan's dying so quickly. If they don't jump now, they can never jump. Cuckoo looking for the moment. Go now. It's already too late. Aegis Immortal has taken. The cheese is up as well. Refresher shot grabbed by the Enchantress. She won't want to keep that. That goes to the magnet. And that's how you get 2 RPs. Not
Because this team is like, I need this item. We need the 3rd Roche. Quick buy. If we don't get the 3rd Roche, guys, you know what I'm buying.
Yes, I can't buy a refresher up, guys. It's too broke.
Yeah.
That Observer and Sentry needs to get... Well, okay, well, they'll drop the Sentry anyway. A little bit forward. Yeah, you see the obs, guys.
This Enchantress is starting to be a really big problem now. This they can't kill it.
No. Catching out Ori.
That's a freebie.
Yeah, the stake is Mortal gone. Infest Cuckoo, get me out of here. I need an evacuation chopper right now.
Great kill.
Yes. Out. And VG are looking to fight once more. Down through the mid. The wind dropped from the sails, but I'm thinking they're blowing strong again.
He used pressure already on Mag. He is super ready to go. The call's been made. We're going to fight them again. Jugger, however, not swapping his refresher orb, so doesn't have Omnislash ready in this RP.
No, but he's still got his BKB, and that's what he's probably thinking about.
Yep.
If he uses already, he won't have the second immunity. First fight when it comes in. It's going to be the SK. Paparazzi stays on the front lines. Spin, give him protection. Ice Blast will time the BKB. Paparazzi gives the protection of the ski walking. Oh, it's gone!
Didn't like the sound of that?
They'll have to expend that Buffex. TNC are looking for a push back the other way.
That's a RP. You don't have Omnislash? He had it in backpack, the refresher, he swaps it in, he refreshes, and then the fight is lost. If he has Omnislash in that RP, I think Vici Gaming get 2 or 3 core kills. Instead now they're back with their backs against the wall.
2 buybacks burn.
Dyer's
becomes high ground.
That's just, I don't know, it feels like miscommunication, right? Fade's like, we're gonna go for this, guys. We're gonna go, I'm using Refresher, we're taking this fight. Pavaro's like, okay, but I don't want to Refresher my ulti. So if you get a great ulti, I mean, let's see if we can kill them all. And guess what? They couldn't. They needed an Omni Slash in that fight badly. And the combo from TNC was just sick too. You have to be very careful as VG Gaming to fight into any high ground on the map because of how much of a sudden burst is just going to come out of nowhere. Epicenter with Veil, tiny combo, Ice Blast, Sonic Wave.
You see how Tiny's going first. Well, he's got Octarine Call lined up with 9.2k sitting in the bank.
He should really buy it.
Yeah, he really should.
10,000 gold on this support.
Just give cheese over to somebody else.
Hello?
Yes.
Buy your item?
It's 3.4k.
Why is he not buying it? They're standing on the high ground.
It's a very good question, but...
Okay, he wanted to kill the wave. Now he's going to buy it. Surely. Surely now he's buying it. Okay, he is actually.
Yeah.
Nope.
Wait, no. Yes? No. Hang on. Meanwhile, back at the mid-fight.
Hey, your entire item... This
like
dude,
we
you
could
just
be
walked
watching
next to sell us all the stuff we need.
We could be watching the...
barracks are under attack.
Just watching this... But that Sonic Wave, that was sweet.
Perfect.
Combo the TNC was looking for. The hilarious is too, like, VG need to cluster for that to happen. Retreat down mid lane, that's what happens. You're still just watching him with 9 point, almost 8k gold on himself now.
I'm striking. I'm not casting until he buys an item. Come on, dude.
So, welcome to Cinder and Airlines, where you...
I was a gold, buy an item. I'm getting triggered. This reminds me of
a sentry. Yang, you're trying to get rid of it. They're coming out with a gem. They get rid of the sentry to begin with. But now, they can claim him and the Juggernaut is down. Buyback is available. Yang's having a hard time walking away. The cold feet slowing him up. Tim's going in once again. He won't kill you with damage. He'll kill you with 10,000 gold.
Nature attend us.
Maybe he thinks he does more damage the more gold he has.
What is this, gambler? Actually, wait, that was his ability, right?
Yeah, he had something that was... Yeah, well, the whole hero was built around gold.
Hence called the gambler.
Oh, okay, he changed his mind. Now he wants to not buy an Aghanims. Yep, indeed. He's just gonna walk past the ship.
Oh, Tim's, get something, please. Buy a moonshot for somebody else.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Gabby will take a moonshot.
He has 9,000 surplus. I mean, the explanation has to be he's unsure what the best item is. He just can't decide what he wants.
Can we just have we need to have a conference. The fate of TNC must be decided in a committee.
Okay, so let's think about it for a second. Maybe he's debating if he should go be another core game because he has so much gold that he can actually go Axe Daedalus, for example, and do massive physical damage into the Jugger. Because he was hovering the Octarine and he was like, maybe this is a better way of doing it. Okay, he's gonna buy the Axe.
Okay.
And Daedalus.
That's this ancient apparition has already bought.
Okay.
His Aghanim Scepter, so he's waiting for the big surprise combination.
He was waiting to have the gold for everything at once.
Yes.
He checked, okay. He pulled out his calculator. It's like, what is... I don't remember how much expensive these items are. Plus...
a surplus of 900 gold.
Is dangerous.
Okay, back to the focus.
So much damage now.
Tim's does a crap ton. He doesn't have a Faceless Void to combo with, but that's fine. We're 62 minutes into this game, and VG Gaming are just trying to keep their lanes pushed out. TNC are doing a fair job of keeping them down. Maybe not exactly where Faye wants to be, but he's checking hillside with the gem.
TNC ended up not pushing with the Jugger kill too. They actually didn't force a buyback. Rossi gets to have this buyback in the defense.
Yeah, that's a good board to keep up. How many buybacks do you have available? You've still got another 3 minutes to count down for a lot of the VG Gaming players. But the thing to be said for the live stealer, he's dead for a while. But they're coming out, VG. They're on a ward mission. Either that, they're on a rune mission, but I hate to speak, there's no double damage for you. Roshan may respawn in 15 seconds. But they've come out. They're not under the cover of smoke.
That's the preparing for. But Infest into Cuckoo, and go time once more. The Radiant scan hits perfectly on Vici Gaming. And they're actually crossing over even further out.
So what Vici are doing is they're leaving the Lina in base, who has Boots of Travel level 2 and buyback. So worst case scenario, she gets jumped and killed, but she has the out. Best case scenario, this squad that they've sent out on a mission will find something that will make the support of
Wait forward, there's you jump forward, the fire truck, fell off time, now it's our Melkor, yes, BKB and Blink himself away to safety, Yang's looking for the target, all the colours of the rainbow, going over towards Gabby, dropping him down by half-life, but they got more. Ice Blast, that's coming in a little late. Don't trigger that one. Actually, no. He's the supersized me Roshan. Refresher Shard, Aghanim, Scepter Upgrade, Aegis, and Cheese. He comes with everything. I feel like it's a McDonald's menu.
Well, gotta put it in order.
Illusion.
Right, we're up. Good. Roshan.
Oh, TNC cannot let this happen. There's no way to let this happen.
So quick about the data scanning. Picture Ice Blast. This will scan out what's happening. Roshan, he's taking a while to kill off. TPs are coming over. Cuckoo's already there. He's already got a friend inside. And now he'll walk out underneath everybody. But where's the catch? It's the Hex already over Narmel. Down the lane. The Shadow Blade from Fade. He wants the jump. He bought this item just for this to hit that 1 RP.
Ori managed to get the Hex off, but 4-step Flamer Cape easily saves the Queen of Pain.
Santos lane. With the Infest pop-up, forever keep the chase going. Who can they kill? Magnus is low. He cannot be low. He needs to appear right now. He's been silenced up. 2 hits down without the fight back. Mel's battling. He's just trying to beat. Up on the hillside. Run away. Do not have buyback on 2 of theirs, but Roshan, he's not looking that many of his wounds.
Why are all of Vici Gaming's best team fights when Magnus dies without RPM? And all of the worst ones are with an RP. I don't understand, so
they perform under pressure.
Hey, God. Sonic Wave and of course there's a little bit of logic to the madness, but these fights are so unpredictable right now.
Ori also just consumed an Aghanim Scepter, so they're not even that confident they're able to grab this.
They're not getting it though.
No, they're fucking up. They're doing too much of the damage for TNC. Here's your buyback out from Wave Doctor. Where's the initiation? The tree volley arrives, but that's a wide volley. The Enchanter runs up. He's not protected by that Aeon Disc. It's still on cooldown. Same for Paparazzi, both up by the Avalanche. Healing ward down. Paparazzi doesn't have a lot of mana. In fact, he can't even spin and Omni Slash. And now Roshan even died a volley. Another buyback comes in from SK. Vici, they still don't have the RP Magnus alive.
Like what they came for. They fought 3 buybacks to defend this Roshan. Tiny, Lifestealer, and Sand King.
And the group is pushing in as well. So their presence, or their lack of in the lanes, definitely be noted. Is someone going to finally grab this Gematrusa? It's been sitting above Roshan forever. Trusa sing out, Lifestealer's inside the pit. Juggernaut has a lot of damage. You can get Yang. And maybe now, well, you've actually got the back down. They're going to get the kill on Paparazzi. He'll fight back, but Roshan's already been cut. Now he's trying to grab absolutely everything off the field at the moment. The Aghanims can flash into the Sand King. So now he's got the extra range. DY, look, he's still got the cheese from...
Illusion. None to burn.
But first, gets the Hex off. Very, very big in that moment.
Oh boy, 67 minutes in. We may be testing limits. What is the longest game in TI at this rate? But we'll have to crack an hour and a half to change those compendium predictions.
This game is not even close to over.
No.
Sure, this Jugger buys back after this, but
even if TNC take a load of racks,
there are plenty of buybacks at TNC that are down. They used 3 buybacks themselves to get this Aegis, so they're not safe either. They're not in the clear at all.
No. It's Vici who want to fight. RP is up. Who's going to walk it? Like the scan and a Sand King. That'll be a huge jump. Lifesteals is out of him. Armor's right next to him too, but Vici, they don't have the information. There's a Radiant Sword just watching that movement down, playing on their own vision. TNC.
I don't think they had the catch either. Lina was unable to get in. She doesn't have the Shadow Blade anymore, so has to get in and hex.
Dire's middle tower
Just running up the hill. She does the buyback, so she can take a risk like that.
Who can jump for the tier 3? Oh, Lifesteal can just pop. Fortifications unavailable for VG game at the moment. Oh, because it's
Ori's exposing himself in mid. Not really.
Jump. Ori, they can actually break the Lincolns with the Hex. That Aghanim steps up from Ori does so much damage. Queen of Pain brought down by the Shockwave.
Has buyback.
That she does.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
He's giving his life to skin Ori, trying to pump through the back of each apparition. Still didn't have enough damage to work with, however, but Gabby now takes all the colors of the rainbow. We're playing Skittle Enchantress, trying to kill off the heal infected Cuckoo. They change the target. They all just protecting Cuckoo, and they can turn and kill off Bleeding Bob Tims. He goes to the backline, finding DY, gets the avalanche tossed off. We're putting on the buyback. Queen of Pain free to fight once more, as you've got Toss, the reach, and Ori, he's cleaning up the creep wave and keeping Gabby stunned up. VG Gaming, full retreat back inside the base. They do not have RP. The biggest thing the TNC's been scared of, but the best thing VG fight without.
She should be favored in the coming fight.
You would think it though. Queen of Pain's dead for so long, if she dies once more. And this will be all the space they need.
They get all the bounties on TNC. This is 70-minute bounty runs. These are worth about 1,000 gold each.
What is it? It's 180?
900 gold per bounty run. So 3.6k gold just picked up. How nice?
Yeah, sure.
But again, they have high ground. So he traded off buybacks. Queen of Pain for the Lina. And Aegis is going to probably just expire at this rate before you go high ground, and the RP will come off cooldown again.
I actually wonder how many Aegis have... to be the carrier of Lifestealer for the moment. It is kind of stupid when you reach that point where Lifesteal's like, yeah, I'm not going to pop out of you. There's nothing to really farm to advance myself any further forward. Actually, he still can, but he's just got to swap.
Radiant are scanning.
After the... Although will probably be mashing the crap out of her BKB button.
I'm wondering if Ench actually commits her own buyback money, her surplus. She's got enough to buy the MKB and has a Moon Shard ready to consume.
But buyback is the biggest resource in the whole game now. There's nothing more important than buyback. It's bigger than any item. It's Aegis cheese is bigger than Refresher. Because what this is going to come down to eventually is either VG will run out of their base and lose a fight, and if they don't have buybacks, it doesn't matter what items they have, or TNC are going to try to push and you're going to fight with your extra lives. It's a huge resource to have right now, and well, there's very few people that have that resource. It's 2 heroes on Vici, nobody on Radiant has buyback currently. There's been so many burnt.
AA is just...
It's in gold, everybody else has cooldown.
Yep. So what does TNC do? Like, you just wait for next Roshan, and that's when everyone will fight. Also keep in mind that the Aghanim consume on the SK. Like, There's still a refresher shard on the Queen of Pain, so double Sonic Waves, double Hexes, double Bloodthorn, Shivas, all that kind of jazz.
Yep.
And got the cheese as well.
I wonder if we're gonna hit this kind of moment. So sometimes complexity can, like, for example,
Are you meaning the team with Kyle, or were you meaning?
Kyle can be too much for you. That it's not complexity related though. But when it comes to, for example, Shadow Demon, right? When you get level 25 in an X, you suddenly have 2 disruptions, 3 demonic purges, and you need to like cycle them correctly in the fight. You're reaching a point with Queen of Pain where if you overthink things and you want to play everything perfectly, you're gonna get stunned and die. Like you don't have to use maybe every single item and all of these abilities is extremely difficult.
So what you're asking for is a spray and pray.
Not necessarily, just don't overthink it. Don't be like, okay, I have to BKB, I have to link in somebody while I'm BKB'd, use Shiva, Orchid, Bloodthorn, and Hex, all my spells, and then I can refresh and do it again. Because something is going to go awry. Like, there's going to be something that surprises you, somebody gets force staffed, and your entire plan is gone. Just make sure you get 2 good Sonics off and 2 Hexes. I think that's the biggest thing. Maybe 2 BKBs. The Shiva, not important that you get 2. The Lincolns, you can refresh it if you absolutely have to. But apart from that, just, don't make it too complicated.
Well, let's see how TNC do it. They're smoking up, so we get the answer to the...
number 1 in series number 2. TNC Predator take the game in just over 75 minutes. Not quite the longest game we've seen so far at the International 2019, but pretty long, it has to be said. We've got all of our men back, ready to bring their thoughts. Gents, first of all, over on the draft panel.
Woo! My goodness, what
was that?
game. Just everyone, Tim's and Gabby styling on him near that secret shop. You had it just fade with these blind skewers over and over.